Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome back to Y&R For Life, where we talk about all things Y&R related. From, what's going on, my predictions, what I think's going to happen. We even talk about fashion on this show because I'm a big time fashion girl, so we got to spill the tea about that from time to time. If you're new to this channel, my question is, what took you so long to get here? And if you are returning, what's up? Long time no see. You see me, I'm wearing the purple blanket. It's not the purple robe, it's the purple blanket, which means that it was a bit of a sleepy week. I don't know what's going on with Y&R over the last maybe 2 weeks or so. They've been doing some craziness that we will discuss. But let's get into a few little disclaimers. My usual is, if you don't want to know what's going on, you want to get caught up on your own, this might not be what you want to see or hear, but I am so grateful that you are here. And once again, if you like this type of content, it would be so kind if you hit that like and subscribe button and smash that bell notification so that you don't miss a single video I post here on Y&R For Life. So we're going to kind of get into it. I tell you, it was like all over the board this week. I don't even know if we were coming or going. It was just a set of craziness. There was some fashion yays and a lot of, okay, let's just cut to the chase. This whole montage that they've been doing over the last couple of weeks where they, you'll see a character, they come into a room, or they might be already in a room, whatever. And then all of a sudden they remember, something from that just happened. So they cut to this whole, memory type thing where they're regurgitating the same thing we've already seen. It's like a dream state. Oh, it's too much. Writers, where did you come up with this? It's the one-off scenario, we've seen this in the past, that kind of stuff, no problem. But it has been ongoing, like every episode over the last couple of weeks. I thought maybe it was like a couple off scenarios, but oh my Lord, like everybody's having these dream states. Billy, Jack, Tucker, Phyllis, like, oh my goodness, it is too much. Can we dial that back or just cut it out? Stop it. Ugh. Okay, that's my little rant because it's been too much. Okay. So, all right, let's get a few little scene fillers out the way. Okay, first of all, Nick is still whatever coast he's on. I think it's the East Coast. Kind of doesn't matter. We haven't seen him. Haven't heard from him, nothing. So we don't know. Let's talk about Tessa and Mariah and Sharon. That was albeit the scene filler. Okay, so Tessa was away doing like photo shoots, whatever. She was probably doing something with the music, what have you. Something to do with Marchetti. And I guess there was some sort of, albeit storm or something that was going on. Mariah was at Sharon's place and Mariah was like concerned. Sharon actually didn't go to whatever coast she was supposed to go. I think it was the West Coast, whatever. So she went back home. Don't ask me from the time that Chance was taking her to the airport until now, like, what happened? I know I didn't miss anything, so that was weird. Sharon's back at home. She didn't go away, and Mariah's like, thank goodness, Mom, you didn't go away, because when I looked at the weather report, I would have lost my mind worrying about you, what have you. So, yeah, Sharon's like, oh, well, yes, I didn't get a chance to go, but I've made some meetings with some department heads. to do like virtual meetings and, to get everybody like pumped and excited for Kirsten Unlimited, what have you. So, yeah, again, scene filler. So the two of them are talking, and Sharon's like, well, the good news is I get to spend the evening with you and, just kind of catch up what's going on. Mariah is like saying how she can't wait to be on the job with Sharon and Nick, and how the dynamic would have been weird if Adam was involved with, this whole previous SNA media. Well, Sharon's like, yes, a weight has been lifted, and bye-bye, Adam. Okay, so just then, brap, brap, brap on the door, scene filler, Tessa comes in, and she's back in town. The two of them toddle off back to the tack house, which is probably just across the way, and they hit the skins, and yeah, that was the end of that. Complete scene filler. That was the beginning of the week. Don't even know why it was there, but I don't even know if we're really keeping abreast of this information, because it just seems a little wonky, if you will. Okay, so let's get on to Victoria, who is still whining about how the fact, oh, Daddy, this whole thing, you're like full of surprises, and, like, I'm not in the loop, and like, she just went off. And Victor, my guy, he pulled the reins on her and was like, this company has become disjointed. That's the best. Yes, the company has been disjointed. And she's like, well, I don't think I had anything to do with it. He's like, oh, well, I beg to differ. Yes, Victoria, your little snoozing and smoozing around with Nate in the office and whatever craziness you two of you were doing. Like, you must have been letting things slide and slip. Like, you must have. I'm sorry, I don't get Victor wrong. Like, he's taken back his company, and the line that he gave her, oh, priceless. That's when I have to take off the blanket for this one. Okay, I'll just take it down a little bit. Anyway, so she's like, yes, and you took my picture off the wall and replaced it with yours. And Victor, in true Victor form, don't you have walls in your office? So basically, you want your picture up? Stick it in your office. Oh my goodness, he might as well have said, take it home and put it on your wall. Like, if you want to stare at yourself, you are no longer in charge. Bye-bye. Anyway, she again is still wah. Just prior to that, Lily had gone to see Victor because Lily is like, wait a minute. Victor is pulling out his whatever share within Chancellor Winters. I don't like what's going on here. This seems weird. Why would he do this? Whatever. So she went to go and see Victor to basically be like, what's going on? Like, why did you do this? Who did you sell it to? And it's always, it's this hush, sweep under the rug story. So Victor's like, all in due time. You will learn all in due time. But I am not at liberty to say. And whoever it is, apparently they approached him. Whatever. So the wheels on the bus in Lily's head is going off, and she has now gone to Devon, and she's like, yeah, I had this meeting with Victor. Didn't go so well. He didn't give me much information, and yeah, by the way, I think the person that he has sold it to is, yeah, Tucker. So Devon's like, oh, wait, what? Um, that's weird. Because Devon's like, look, why would Tucker risk our relationship, like Devon and his relationship, because they are now mending fences, and why would he now risk it in order to go behind their backs and do this? Now, I don't really have a prediction on this, but I wouldn't put it past Tucker, and I'll tell you why. Later on within the episodes, Tucker ends up telling, I believe it was Audra, that he doesn't, was he Audra or Phyllis? I feel like it was Audra. Doesn't matter. Audra or Phyllis, kind of doesn't matter. But whoever he tells, he says he doesn't want to run Jabot. Like, he doesn't want, if anything, his usual term now is he'll just be an advisor. So he doesn't want to run Jabot. So I say this because, as we all know, there has been this lifelong rivalry between Victor and Jack concerning Jabot and concerning Newman. So, follow me here. If Tucker, like how he wants to get his hands on Jabot and basically obliterate them, and let's say he went to Victor and said, look, this is what I'm going to do, or don't you worry, I'm going to handle Jabot, but I want, like, whatever, like, maybe Victor was like, what's in it for me? That kind of thing. So maybe, just maybe, Tucker wants to now siphon Jabot to Victor, and then in return, Victor will give his stake in Chancellor Winters to Tucker, which then would allow Tucker to basically have Devon, albeit like fully run Chancellor Winters. So you see, it could be that. I don't know. I don't know who else there could be, but I feel like maybe Lily's not far off, but we shall see. That's going to be time that's going to tell. Hopefully they don't have too many more of these dumb video flashbacks that have been going on. Like, it's incessant. Okay, so let's dial back to Sally Spectra and Adam Newman. Okay, Miss Sally, let's you and I have a little conversation. Okay, so Miss Sally, you know full well that you want Adam back. Like, you know this. You are trying so hard to fool yourself into believing that you want this relationship with Nick, and that Nick is your future. He's your present, he's your future. You know, I don't know who you're trying to sell this to, but I'm not buying it. I'm just not buying it. That kiss that Adam planted on you the other day, and you, Miss Sally, did not push him away. You didn't do any of that. If anything, you went into your room, like I said, and closed the door, and you were hot and bothered over it. And it was like, oh yeah. Okay, so now, again, I don't know who you're trying to sell this to, Sally, but it's not going to be me, or probably most of us in Y&R land. Okay, so Adam sees you at the table, and next thing you know, Adam starts professing how he, even though it shouldn't have happened, this whole kiss story, and she's like, I thought we weren't going to talk about it. I thought we weren't going to discuss it. He's like, yeah, but I couldn't stop thinking about it, and it felt right. It felt good. And I mean, what was he going to say? It was terrible. The guy has been like on your heels for what, a good year? Like, come on. He's been like following you around like a puppy dog. Enough. Just, again, I really was hoping that things would work out between you and Nick. But send Nick packing, go back to Adam so we can be done with this whole back and forth story between the two of you, you know, sharing glances, having sips of wine together, you know, just going over the fact that you lost Ava. I get it. There's that connection. But enough. Take him back. He wants you back. And let Nick go. Because we all know that Nick and Sharon will probably end up back together. Regardless of chance, Summer has her sights set on that guy. So this craziness needs to stop. Yeah, so Adam professed his whole undying love for Sally, and we don't know. I mean, I think we do, but I'll just say we don't know. Okay, so yes, let's go right back to Summer. Summer ends up having like a little drinky drink with her brother, with Daniel at Society. And she basically says, you know, she's in a good place, that she's ready to move on. Like she's good. And yeah. So Daniel's like, oh, okay. What do you mean by that there, sis? Are we talking like, you know, romantically? Like, what are we talking about here that you're ready to move on? So she's like, well, basically who she has her little antennae up for is kind of spoken for. And she mentions that it's Chance. And he's like, Chance? You mean the same dude who was arresting our mother? And say what? And she's like, yeah, you know, he was very kind to me and sweet and blah, blah, blah. And she just went on. Okay. All right. Let me break it down. Let's get Summer and Chance together. Be done with that. Let's move along. And I kind of don't like Sharon and Chance together. It seems a little awkward. As I said, I personally think Chance should just be by himself. Because to me, he's just a little odd, a little weird, but that's just me. And let's get Sharon and Nick back together. Although I've never been a Sharon and Nick fan. Never. With the exception of when Cassie was alive and that whole, when she passed, that was still one of the best, most prolific scenes that I have ever seen on Y&R for all the years that I've watched. Like Sharon, as I said, between her and Nikki with crying, Nikki takes the cake, but Sharon she is running neck and neck with Nikki, and she can put on the waterworks like that. So back in the day when Cassie passed and it was Sharon and Nick at her bedside, whee! Yeah. So it was then that I didn't mind them together. But you see now, no. I've never been a Sharon and Nick fan. But it would make sense. Put Sally back with Adam and let's be done with it. Okay, so yes, Summer has basically professed how she has like the hots for Chance, but he's kind of indisposed at this moment. Okay, so let's move. Oh boy, let's move to Audra, Kyle, and Nikki Newman. As I've said over the last couple of videos, Nikki has been like on point. She has been laying down the law. Woo-wee. Side note, Audra, she looked great. She had on this purple, was it a dress? Yeah, it was a dress with a split. She looks so on point. Bravo. Bravo. So A+ to the stylist for that. Nikki has been, as I said, she's been looking good. And who else? Diane. Diane has been upgraded. Like, upgraded. So she looks a good 10 to 15 years younger, I tell you. It's amazing what a little choppy chop haircut, straighten that out. Because she had this little wispy thing going on, almost like a Farrah Fawcett kind of thing. And it was, and like the grays, it just was not working. And again, her consistent funeral attire, no. But they've been putting her in some like bodycon dresses. They, did a nice chop of her hair where it's nice blunt cut on the ends, and they put a little eyeliner and mascara on her. She is looking good. So again, those are my side notes. So this week, Audra, Nikki, and Diane they've been on point. Okay, so back to Audra, Kyle, and Nikki. Okay, Audra and Kyle, they were at the club having whatever. I think Audra was there first. Kyle came in and he sat down, and the two of them seemed quite cozy, if you will. Well, just then Nikki walks in and it was like, oh, again, cue, dream state. She remembers whatever conversation with, I believe it was with Kyle. Like, what are you doing with your life, man? Like, what is going on? Okay. So there was a point where the two of them were at the table that Audra kind of leaned in a little closer. So Nikki sees all this and was like, what do we have here? Two of you seem quite cozy. What's going on? And of course they flubbed and, said, oh, we were just going over whatever. And Audra, come on. Was somebody supposed to believe your next story about how there was something Kyle said and I couldn't hear properly, so I leaned in a bit closer to hear him? Okay, you guys are not even, maybe, not even a foot apart, maybe. And you can't hear it? Okay, that was weird. Somebody was supposed to buy that story. Wasn't going to be me. And clearly wasn't Nikki. Well, fast forward, Nikki ends up telling Audra that, yeah, you're on thin ice, but here's what you got to do. Let him go, because you ain't fooling nobody. I already know that the two of you are still, doing your little flingy fling, even though I told you you need to cut it out. So yeah, you need to like cut him loose, literally fire him. Oh, okay. And she's like, but Nikki, yeah, Nikki's like, and before you decide to try and whatever, again, you are on thin ice yourself, and I would let you go, but you mark my words, if this keeps up and you don't do what I'm telling you to do with a quickness, you're out. Oh, Nikki, you're bravo. I personally think get rid of her, but unless you just want to dangle her like a little marionette doll, let her do your bidding for you, then do your thing. Whatever. I mean, you've got the power to do that. I don't necessarily condone it, but in soap opera land, marionette on. Okay. So Audra then meets Kyle in the park. Kyle's like, oh yeah, trying to get all cozy, and she's like, look, 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 you don't get it. Um, I had a conversation with Nikki, and basically she told me I had to cut you loose, and she's not crazy. She knows that we're still, catortling and whatever, and yeah, you gotta go. And Kyle's line that cracked me up was, what? She got all this from a look? Ah! Yes, Kyle. She got it from a look. She's not crazy. She's been around the block a few times. So, what are you crazy? You think that Nikki she can't see what's going on? Okay, like anybody would see what's going on. Kyle, don't be so naive. Okay, so he's a goner, whatever. At some point in time, they meet up again at the club, and yeah, that didn't fare very well. But such is life. So we don't know. All we know is that Kyle's been fired. Yeah, and that's about that. Diane now knows that he's been fired because he was like, I gotta go to Newman and clear out my desk. And it was like, hold up, wait a minute, what's going on? So she's like, this has got to do with your little affair with Audra. But now would be a great time for you to come back to where you belong, which is the family company, Jabot. And yeah. So eventually Jack comes in, and Kyle tells Jack that he's been let go, and there's this whole thing about, I'll only come back to Jabot, Mom and Dad, if you get rid of Billy and I replace him as COO of the company. That's the only way that I would even think to come back to Jabot. If not, I can be the man of leisure and whatever. Like, he even went and did a hang 10, man. I was just like, oh, okay. Okay there, Kyle. Alrighty. So, Jack is really vying for him to come back, but he's got to work with, Billy Boy Abbott, who has been feverishly running all over town, trying to, sidestep Tucker. Which brings me to just that, Tucker and Billy and Phyllis and a side plate of Devon. Okay, I think this probably is the last thing that we're going to talk about, because I tell you, it was a mishmash. To me, it was sleepy, especially the first episode of the week. I was like, I could barely keep my eyes open. It was just so womp, womp, womp. Okay. So Billy, he has tried to recruit Devon, if you will, into, the whole idea that Tucker's not on the up and up, and yeah, he needs to be stopped and whatever. And of course, Devon is looking like, he's looking like, I don't know what's going on. This is just weird. I don't even know why I'm here. I'll answer your questions, but yeah, this is just crazy, and I don't know why I'm here. That's pretty much how Devon looked. And can't blame him, because it just seemed so out of left field. Like, Billy, you're trying to now pin Devon against his father. Not good. Not good at all. Okay. So Tucker has gotten Phyllis to basically do his dirty work. Half a storyline, 1 second. So Phyllis agrees to do whatever for Tucker. But this is she was thinking about it from before, but this has now been solidified because she was at the park and she ran into Jack. This is not once, this is twice now, because Jack is just like, as far as I'm concerned, you're still dead to me. I said bye to you at your memorial and like, whatever. I wish you well, but I wish you no harm, but like, yeah, I'm done with you. And she's like, oh, and Daniel had walked by and heard the whole thing, and he was like, look, normally I would probably say, hey, don't talk to my mom like that, but you kind of deserve it. Yeah. So she's like, but it kind of hurts, when people like, I've been, like the scarlet letter all over town and people just stare at me and look at me. Whatever. Okay, whatever. Fast forward, Daniel offers her a job at Omegasphere, and she's like, yeah, I'll have to think about that. Cue the dream state, and that's when she makes this decision that because she has to pay the insurance company back, and they're hounding her for the money that Jeremy Stark stole from her, which nobody knows where it is. She's like, I need to make Family Feud Fast Money Cash like toot sweet. And the only way this is going to happen in her brain is with Tucker. Okay, Daniel saunters off and he's like confused and angry and was like, basically, you just looked a gift horse in the mouth and kicked me. And yeah, bye, Mom. So she goes and she sends a text message to Tucker saying she's on her way and, it's a go, blah, blah, blah. She goes to the club. Now, if this didn't look shady, I don't know. So she comes in. Billy was there, sees her fly by, and Tucker, he flies by as well. He goes up the stairs. Phyllis goes by the bar, and she's looking so shifty. And Billy's standing there like, right. So Billy pretends that he's left the club, and he goes outside the revolving door, and oh, I tell you, he's standing out there peering through the revolving door glass, only to see Phyllis. No sooner she leaves the bar and flies up the stairs. She flies up the stairs, and clearly he knows where she's gone. Okay, so she goes and she brap on Tucker's door. She comes in with like a shiny new laptop that's like wrapped up in plastic in like another bag. Like, I can't even get through this. It was so funny. Okay. So, story short, Tucker's like, I want you, which we knew, he wanted her to hack into Billy's bank account. So she eventually does this, and, she's like, there, like anybody could do this, right? So this was after he paid her or transferred her. Could somebody transfer me that kind of cash? $1 million. And then she's like, no. Our deal was $2 million plus 10%. So you owe me another like $100,000. And he's like, oh, okay, whatever. I've never seen any, like, a daily limit, at least here in Canada, is maybe like $3,000. How you could transfer $1 million and then another 100,000? What kind of account do you have? Okay. Anyway, yeah. So he transfers her money, and that's how she got to work. But then he's like, You think that's all that I want you to do? And she's like, hold up, wait a minute, wait a minute. And he's like, come on, like, I wouldn't just ask you to hack into his account. So she's like, okay, what, that was our deal. No, that's what I told you, and that's great. So basically, what Tucker wants her to now do is hack into Jabot's accounts. And so then transfer money from Jabot into Billy's account so it looks like embezzlement. Whee! And that's what Tucker wants. So to make it look as though Billy has been stealing from the family company. And it would make sense because Tucker is sitting back looking at Billy's account saying, oh, he looks a little low. I thought there'd be more zeros, but I guess with his gambling debts and whatnot. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. This makes perfect sense. So she's like, oh my gosh, like, no, I can't do this. Oh my goodness, like, Billy doesn't deserve this. Whoa. Are we going to end up back with a Billy and Phyllis storyline? Now that Chelsea is nowhere to be found, I'm just saying. I'm not making a prediction. I'm just saying. It would not surprise me. Because she was fighting hard for Billy. Like, he doesn't deserve this. No. And eventually, yeah, Phyllis, you're the one that wants the money. So that's the only way. He's like, if not, you can transfer me back my money real fast. So we all know that's not going to happen because that wouldn't make for good soapland news and information and storylines, you know? All those wrapped up in a nice little pretty bow. So again, that's what's current. We don't know where that's going to, go. But again, I feel as though, yeah, it's not going to fare well for Billy. And yeah, it's up for a much of a bumpy ride. So there you have it, folks. That was pretty much the week. Again, it was kind of sleepy for me. Even though there was a lot that happened, I think that the beginning of the week plus all these like dream state stories, it just really put a damper on things. It was not necessary. Didn't need all that because it happened like every episode, a couple times in each episode. Like, why? Okay. So if you stuck around to the end, I'm so grateful. I really appreciate your time. I love you lots. Again, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and share. Why? Because sharing is caring. Again, at least I like to think so. And hit that bell notification so that you don't miss a single video that I post here on Y&R For Life. And if I forgot something, it's the nature of the beast. Like I say, either it wasn't newsworthy or I just plumb forgot. But I think you get the gist of what happened this week. All right, guys. Let's see where the next week takes us. Should be good. It should be good. And I will see you on the next video. Take care.